Some big news coming in. 50 BSF personnel have been put in home quarantine. BSF personnel have been quarantined after an officer tests positive for COVID-19 at the BSF Academy in Madhya Pradesh's Tikanpur. These officers were supervising preparations at the quarantine centers, and one officer has tested positive of COVID-19. In fact, 50 BSF personnel have now been put under home quarantine after a BSF personnel has been found positive. All these BSF personnel have been quarantined right after one of their officers tested positive of COVID-19 at the BSF Academy in Madhya Pradesh's Tikanpur. Let's go over to Kamaljeet joining us live. Kamaljeet, BSF Jawans, 50 personnel have been quarantined. We know that one officer has tested positive. If you could explain to us, how did they find out? What was his whereabouts?
The irony of it all is that the officer who tested positive for COVID-19 was the one who was in charge for the quarantine facility in Tikanpur BSF Academy in Madhya Pradesh. What is significant is that he was part of two top-level meetings which was conducted by the ADG and IG rank officers. One is an IPS officer, one is a BSF cadre officer. What we've been told is that there were elaborate arrangements being made for 250-bed quarantine facility, and this particular officer, a 2IC, was made in charge. Remember, we're not really giving out names at this point of time, but all these 50 personnel with whom he interacted, and including his own family members, have been asked to home quarantine. The meeting, we've been told, took place on 19th of March, and thereafter he was watched for symptoms. He has tested positive. So clearly there seems to be a lot of caution which is being exercised. But remember, each of these paramilitary forces have been asked to have quarantine facilities. This is after there are inputs that the numbers could drastically rise. But yes, within their own force, having something like this seems to be alarming at this point of time. But sources telling us things remain largely under control. And at this point of time, all these personnel will be doing work from home. Remember, this is a caution, this is a precaution, and that is why they've been asked to do self-quarantine. And this is what the larger message to the people is, that if you interacted with anybody who's turned positive, should self-quarantine and should immediately call in the doctors as soon as there are any symptoms and signs of COVID-19.
Absolutely. Kamaljeet, thank you very much for joining us with those details. We do know that 50 of those BSF officers are currently in home quarantine.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.